The Micah thing, you're right.
That happened quick.
Adam Schefter wasn't overblowing things. I thought he was. I thought he was just trying to get Micah talk going, as ESPN will do. But so he actually got on a flight out of town.
Yeah.
And is heading to get his own MRI. And should we assume that you could just go to, you mentioned a Michael Jackson doctor earlier.
Yeah.
Do these big-time agencies have their doctors that are like, this is the diagnosis you're going to give?
I mean,
like, is there any way that he would go to another source and that other source would say, no, it looks fine?
Yeah, it's really weird because it's stipulated in the CBA that you can get this second opinion, but I guess I should have looked up the history of this and how many times it's happened, because I have to figure that you're only going to get, like the president doctor, like he's the best health ever. They're going to come back and say, well, a little cloudy on that MRI. He can't go. Which, again, as Jane Slater drove home this morning, is over $1 million a week for him if he's listed as injured or not.
Which also illustrates he's making good money right now. This isn't like he's on the...
I know, that's not a great point, though.
Yeah, but the Dak deal was... He was making,
his first time around?
Quarterback money.
100%.
Yeah, so
I agree, but
the thing about these top 10 draft picks or whatever is you're kind of set for life. If you're a pretty good player and you get that fifth-year option picked up, you're guaranteed that fifth-year option is going to be big, big money. Life-changing money, set you for life type money. Now, the problem is that they're in this world of sports, which is fantasy. And the problem that the Cowboys made, the bet they made, is that they don't have any consistency with one contract to the next, and it looked like this is the way you handle the Cowboys, is by threatening them when they think they kind of have a good team, and then you can extract them for all they're worth. And oddly enough, it wasn't with Zeke. It's with Micah Parsons that they're kind of like drawing the line to where we do things like this now. So
yeah, and I do think that if you wanted to look for some level of consistent through line, it's that Jerry wants you to bend the knee. And if the further you step out of line from that, the harder he's going to smack you to get back in it. I was thinking watching the documentary, though, in your mind, and I'm not saying you're wrong in your characterization of what Mike has done here and challenging Jerry, do you feel like Emmett was doing the same thing? Emmett had been in the league for 3 years, I think, and was still under contract and wasn't up, but he had just won the rushing title.
And they had just won the
Super Bowl. And so he wanted to be paid 4 years, $16 million, and I think he was at 4 and 9 maybe. And he held out 2 games. And I went back and watched that again last night. Emmett was not like Dak. Well, and it's not Dak because he didn't hold out. But he wasn't like chill about it. He was calling it a case, like he was in court. In an interview, he's like, we will win this case because we are right. And we are just in our position. And talking about it 40 years later, 30 years later, he's like, I was tremendously disrespected by that. I felt hurt, and I'll never forget about it.
I think there was also... certainly a very different...
But do you think that's challenging Jerry? Like what Mike is doing to me is not that different.
Yeah, but Jerry now is different than Jerry his first couple years in the league.
Well, for sure, but I mean they caved to Zeke recently, so it's just this one feels oddly different.
But
to
then
me.
you had Jerry with Zeke was, man, I think this is my opportunity to finally show that I can do this without Jimmy type thing, and I'm not going to let this little holdout stop me. I think Jerry now realizes this is not a real Super Bowl team. He really thought that one with Zeke was, and I agree. I think those were some pretty good teams.
Sure.
That Dak rookie year might have been their best chance. I don't know. Micah's rookie year was a pretty good chance, too. Or was it his second year?
Hey, I mean, I know they played a week slate, but the 2023 team had a second-team All-Pro quarterback and was favored against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Against a quarterback who hadn't won anything at that point, and they got trounced.
Was that Micah's second year? No, third. Because he played 2 against San Francisco and then Green Bay. Yeah, so
I don't know what to make of it, but
I truly think Jerry now is kind of at the he's rounding third, heading for home. He's in the basking in my life portion of his life. He's let's have this documentary. It's glowingly speaking about me. It's the gambler. I'm this. I'm in TV shows. All right, we've had really good. They've set the narrative now that they've had very good teams that have never really just got over that little hump. Certainly, they've had a few teams that were good enough to win the Super Bowl. And I think he's told himself in his mind that that's almost like a Super Bowl. Like, we've been really good over the past 20 years. And I'm not going to now... Again, it's the public... Yeah, the bending of the knee, the public whipping that he would take. And publicly right now, he's on a high. So I don't know. It's very messy.
Very messy.
I kind of like it, but it's. I feel like this year is going to be a disaster. I feel like with the head coach, the first-year head coach, I think it's going to be a difficult time. Difficult water to navigate.
But there's plenty of reasons there to think that. I'm not like a head in the sand here. I just think they have a chance to be very potent on offense and have a pretty good pass rush.
Well, and that's all going to be
their weaknesses.
It's all on Dak right now.
Stop saying that. Yes,
you've said it.
But Dak is.
You have said that.
Dak is the coach in my mind.
Yeah.
And now he has George Pickens, and maybe I'm putting too much into that, but I think it's a big deal. Just while we wait on them, just let me know when we have them. I've told you before that some of these websites I use, they try to do almost like a war for football. So in baseball, you can say like a win above replacement. Let's say it's a 4-win player, and you say, well, win's worth about $7 million. So if we paid that guy $15, he produced $28 million in value. That's a good deal. That's $13 million in value. It's like rookie quarterbacks, right? That's why Dak was always like the most valuable player in his first 4 years, according to this stat. Because he was making $500,000, and he was one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league. I just want to remind people that, for example, in 2023, there was no player who was worth more relative to the amount he was paid than Micah Parsons. He was paid $4.2 million that year. His value as an edge rusher was $34 million. So that was 23. I can go back and look at 22. But my point is, my guess is, even though he was making $4 million and $5 million, and Dak was making $400,000 and $500,000, for those first 4 years of the deal, Micah was producing roughly $25 to $35 million more in value for his position every year. So that I get it. That's how it works. You draft a cheap young player, you hope they pop, and you don't have to pay him a whole lot. But this is how it works. He's giving you a ton of value. Now you pay him. Or you don't and just get on with it. It seems like they don't really take into account at all, which is odd because they hired Brian Schottenheimer, chemistry. Having CD at camp last year. Not having this shit in the news all the time. They don't seem to think there's any negative effect to any of this. And I disagree with that.
Is that where they're at now, though, with the... Well, we are getting on with it. We're not paying him.
Yeah, but I would say that you should trade him at that point. Because now that you've pissed him off and you've said, hey, I know everybody else in your range is getting paid. Hey, I know you've produced. Hey, I know you came to camp. We don't like how this is going. We want to negotiate with you, not your agent. So we're just going to have you come back this year. Then we're going to franchise you 2 times. That's not value. Having somebody who doesn't want to come to work. Like, just trade him. Go get a bunch of picks. But like always, they're doing some weird middle ground. Like, they don't commit all the way to one thing or all the way to the other because the middle ground has, quote, ambiguity and keeps people talking about him. They could have traded him 3 months ago, and this story would be over. I mean, football would be starting, but it would be different. They don't want a resolution because a resolution means the story's over.